God-level duplication system. Chapter 60. Chen Yuzi. Lin Xuan has won this match. He has advanced to second place. On the stage, Deacon Zhang announced the result. As soon as his voice faded, the crowd went into an uproar. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lin Xuan, and their hearts were filled with shock. Although many of them had expected this result, however, after witnessing it with their own eyes, they were still somewhat shocked in their hearts. Zhou Lei and Guan Yuanchuang were two of the three great experts of the outer sect. They were both defeated by Lin Xuan. It had already been proven that Lin Xuan's strength had reached the top of outer sect. Even if he wasn't a match for Chen Yuzi, however, Chen Yuzi had broken through to the Qi transformation stage. After the competition, he would have to go to the inner sect. In other words, Lin Xuan, a new disciple of the beginner level, was going to become the #1 expert of the outer sect in just a month. When the disciples thought of this, they were even more shocked. Besides, who said that Lin Xuan was no match for Chen Yuzi? From the beginning until the end, Lin Xuan won with ease. It seemed like he had never revealed his true strength. Who knew if he would be able to defeat his opponent with a higher cultivation realm? With Lin Xuan's terrifying talent, this wasn't impossible either. All the disciples were even more shocked in their hearts. Even Chen Yuzi had a solemn expression. He had witnessed Lin Xuan's 2 matches, so he had no confidence in defeating him. He could only try his best. On the high platform, Grand Elder's eyes fell upon Lin Xuan. He praised Lin Xuan even more. After that, Lin Xuan stood on the platform, but he had no intention of going down. He looked at the referee, Deacon Zhang, and said indifferently, "Deacon Zhang, there is still one last match left. Shall we continue?" "What?" Deacon Zhang was also startled when he heard this. He immediately recovered his senses and nodded. "All right." Lin Xuan should have rested for a quarter of an hour before recovering his true qi. However, Lin Xuan didn't consume a lot of inks. In addition to Lin Xuan's request, Deacon Zhang could naturally agree to it. Deacon Zhang looked at the 20 people in front of the square and said, "Chen Yuzi, you can go to the arena." "All right." Chen Yuzi responded loudly. He quickly walked out with a strong fighting spirit. Initially, he thought that after he broke through to the Qi transformation realm, no one in the outer sect would be able to defeat him. But now, Lin Xuan has appeared. His strength had already surpassed the Qi gathering stage. Lin Xuan was worthy of his battle. Soon, Chen Yuzi arrived at the arena. He and Lin Xuan stood opposite each other from afar. The competition begins. Deacon Zhang announced after saying that, he stepped aside and looked at the two of them with anticipation. This was the last and most exciting match of this year's competition. He had to watch it carefully. Everyone on the field also perked up at this moment, and their gazes gathered over. This was the final match of the grand competition. Both of them were top experts in the outer sect. Chen Yuzi were the #1 expert in the outer sect. Now that he had broken through to the Qi transformation stage, there was no need to talk about how strong he was. He had already surpassed the scope of the outer sect. However, Lin Xuan wasn't much weaker than him. As the #1 disciple with potential in this batch of new disciples, his talent was beyond the imagination of the outer sect. In fact, his talent could even be ranked at the top of the entire Drifting Cloud sect. In just a month's time, Lin Xuan had already surpassed the peak of the Qi gathering stage. He had defeated Zhou Lei and Guan Yuanchuang, 2 great warriors of the outer sect, in a row. This showed how powerful he was. He was a veteran #1 expert and a new top genius. If these two were to fight, who would be the better one? They were all looking forward to it. However, no matter who won, all the disciples knew that these two were existences that far surpassed them. On the arena, Chen Yuzi's expression was solemn as he cupped his hands and said, "Lin Xuan, you have reached this stage as a new disciple. It has indeed exceeded my expectations. You have been able to win all this time. No one in the outer sect can compare with you in terms of strength and talent. But if you want to defeat me, it won't be that easy." He didn't say that he would win because he really didn't have the confidence, and he wouldn't deliberately boast. Chen Yuzi's words caused an uproar among the crowd of disciples in the square. Even Chen Yuzi, who had broken through, said that he did not have the confidence to win. Could it be that Lin Xuan's strength was that strong? They couldn't believe it. After Zhou Lei and Guan Yuanchuang's injuries were mostly healed, they returned to the crowd and continued to watch the last match. When they heard Chen Yu's words, both of their hearts shook. They immediately looked at each other and smiled bitterly. They never thought that even Chen Yuzi might not be able to defeat Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan's strength had already broken through to the Qi gathering stage and had reached the Qi transformation stage. No wonder he could kill them in an instant. At the same time, the two of them were once again shocked by Lin Xuan's talent. He had such strength in just a month's time. What if a few more months passed? They couldn't even imagine it. On the arena, Lin Xuan nodded slightly, his expression indifferent. It was as if he didn't care at all. Such an attitude made Chen Yuzi even more afraid. He couldn't help but have a bad premonition. However, at this point, it was meaningless for him to think so much. He should fight him. Lin Xuan, I'm going to fight. After that, Chen Yuzi didn't waste any more time talking nonsense. He shouted loudly and unleashed his aura. He turned into a gust of wild wind and rushed towards Lin Xuan. Wind chasing step. Gale palm. Chen Yuzi shouted in a low voice and struck out with his palm. The force of his palm shattered the layers of air around it, and it smashed down towards Lin Xuan. All the disciples on the square felt a blur before their eyes, and then they felt a wave of wind coming towards them. They couldn't help but retreat. They looked at Chen Yuzi in the ring and were shocked. Was this the strength of the Qi transformation stage? He was too strong. Not only could they not see the trajectory of the attack, but they also couldn't even withstand the aftershock. It was as if they were not on the same level. Only now did everyone understand the huge gap between the Qi transformation stage and the Qi gathering stage. Everyone's gaze continued to fall on the arena. This time, what would Lin Xuan do? Would he be able to unleash even greater strength? Lin Xuan's expression remained unchanged as he struck out with his palm. Shocking wave palm. He struck out with his palm, forming a circle of visible energy waves that spread out in all directions. All the disciples on the scene were pushed back once again, and their chests felt heavy. They were even more shocked in their hearts. Lin Xuan's strength was actually this strong. This time, Lin Xuan had once again unleashed an even stronger strength. He had reached the Qi transformation stage. Once again, everyone had a clearer understanding of Lin Xuan's terrifying talent. Guan Yuanchuang and Zhou Lei felt even more bitter. It turned out that Lin Xuan had never used his true strength when fighting them. This was Lin Xuan's true strength, right?